What movie deserved a sequel but never got one? Dread. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie. District 9. At least we have District 1 to 8 though. Spaceballs 3. The Search for Spaceballs 2. The Search for More Money. Edge of Tomorrow. You can read the manga on which the movie is based on if you want. It's called All You Need Is Kill. Tron Legacy. This is way too low on the list. I would have just watched the animators bullshitting around to a Daft Punk soundtrack. Master and Commander. Master and Commander is the ultimate watch it with your dad movie. It's just an awesome, straightforward, action-adventure movie about manly men doing manly things on a boat. The plot is engaging, but never confusing, and there are no uncomfortable sex scenes. No modern technology, and nothing likely to set off a rant about modern society, politics, or a youth culture in it. 10 out of 10. Would watch with my dad again. It's also a perfect movie to put your surround sound system through its paces. The Nice Guys. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like a sequel to this would be like a sequel to Blues Brothers. The movie alone is so good that it's not worth risking a sequel even though it has potential to be amazing. Sky High! Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. The movie itself was okay, but the universe it set up was begging for more exposure. Good answer. Megamind. Megamind is a masterpiece best left untouched. I could see a sequel where Megamind's parents survived the planet's destruction and just now made it to Earth. They're evil too at first, but Megamind shows them the ways of good. It works really well, and the parents start gifting humans with all sorts of new tech that was beyond even Megamind's abilities. He grows suspicious of his parents, but it just comes off as jealousy. Even Roxanne dismisses Hi Monsieur. Eventually, Metro Man and Minion uncover the truth, that it was his parents who exploded their home solar system, and they're preparing to do the same to Earth, but against all odds. And when it seems just too late to save the planet, they win. I think the real reason why he was evil was because he was taught to be evil while he lived in the prison. It had nothing to do with his native culture, because he never dealt with his native culture. Big Trouble in Little China. The official sequel script is online if you want to read it, as well as the more recent comic book sequels. There's a lot of sequel material if you're a fan. Constantine. Solo. A Star Wars story. Yes, A New Hope technically is one, but it doesn't answer most of the questions Solo set up. It was a good movie. It's too bad no one saw it and it made no money by Star Wars standards, because it deserves a sequel. It's by far the most Star Warsy of the new Star Wars. I actually saw it twice in theaters. I liked it so much. Sometimes, a really good movie is better off without a sequel. Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending to the legendary trilogy, but they made Toy Story 4, which didn't progress much from the previous film anyways. I enjoyed 4, but I would have been totally happy without it. Over the Hedge. A strip mall opens on the other side of the woods. A mixed cuisine buffet becomes the target of an elaborate heist, but the owner doesn't just want to stop the monsieur. He wants to serve the monsieur. Matrix. Such a great concept. I'd love a sequel or two to finish the story. The Fifth Element. It's possibly my favorite movie, but I wouldn't want a sequel because the first one is perfect. Much like Galaxy Quest, Who Framed Roger Rabbit should have had a prequel involving the Valiant brothers solving crimes, like clearing Goofy of spy charges for example during the war. Then have that tragic ending, in which Eddie Valiant's brother gets killed, and Eddie turns to drink and turns his back on helping Toons. Rock'n'Rolla. Dread 2012. Carl Urban was magnificent, and I didn't mind Olivia Thirlby either. Alita. Battle Angel. Yes, that ending was like WTF. It felt like it stopped with more movie to go. I agree here. Backdoor Sluts 9. Jumper. The original novel, not the novelization of the film, was the beginning of a series of novels. Reflex. Impulse. And Exo. John Carter of Mars. You mean John Carter? The studio decided to give their space adventure swordfight alien movie the most blandly generic title possible, and then were surprised when it didn't grab people. If they'd had the courage to call it John Carter Hot Martian Princess Smoocher, it would have made $1 billion. That was hardly the only problem. Monsieur Andrew Stanton's $200 million reshoots is what liquidated the entire advertising budget. History of the World Part 1. We never got Hitler on ice, but we did get Jews in space. Spaceballs. The name doesn't lend itself to a sequel, unfortunately. I mean, what are they going to do? Title it History of the World Part 1, Part 2? It's a silly idea, really. I was waiting for the release of Hitler on Ice and Jews in Space though. As a kid, I was really disappointed when it turned out the sequel bait was just a joke. Big Hero 6. Treasure Planet. At least there is the prequel Treasure Island. WALL-E. You sure? Next one would be called WALL-F. WALL-E is one of my favorite movies ever, and I really don't think it needs a sequel at all. Just let it be what it is. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. A mini-series for all the books would be awesome. Ooh yes, like a longer version of the Good Omens adaptation. Serenity. Serenity was a perfect way to end the painfully short Firefly series. Really sucks that Fox had no idea how valuable that property is. So does Disney own the rights now? Might they finally give us browncoats without hearts so lustfully desires? I have heard that Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk have been trying for years to get the rights for Firefly so that it can be rebooted properly and done as it was originally intended. I have not had the time to put into research to confirm this. However, Atlantis: The Lost Empire. I know. We got the straight-to-sequel mashup of 3 episodes of the TV show they wished to make. But there were plans for making a real sequel with the original team and a new original story. Rango. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Not best to leave perfection alone. An additional indie sequel would just ruin the original trilogy. Adventures of Tintin. That was one of my favorite movies. Hancock. Starring Will Smith. The Golden Compass. Great start to the Dark Materials trilogy. The Catholic Church fought against the movie's promotion of humanism over religion. Plus didn't make enough dollar. Watch the TV series. They got it pretty close to the books with some small but good changes. I liked the casting in the movie much better, but I do appreciate the series has more time to explore the world. The HBO series is much better. I don't think you can fully explore the world of Northern Lights with a film. It's very complex and frankly, even with good cast and crew wouldn't be able to have turned well. Dread. Ex Machina. Meet the Robinsons. Chronicle. Mystery Men. I was just driving around last night thinking I need a new Herkimer battle jitney. I'm not knifey boy, I'm not stabman. When you can balance tack hammer on your head, you will head of your foes with a balanced attack. Y'all ever watch Chef? They have a Netflix series out now. Not the same, but lots of good cooking and food scenes. The Princess Bride, but they'd 100% ruin it. There are so few perfect movies in the world, it would be a shame to ruin this one. Inconceivable. The Road to El Dorado. You gave me loaded dice? He gave me loaded dice. I would have loved to have seen a sequel to Primer. Maybe something in the same universe that examines the effects of the time machine. Upvote just for the mention. That movie was a great experience for me in college. Interstellar. The Dark Knight Rises. I understand it was meant to be a trilogy, but I really think there should have at least been a spin-off about John Blake as Batman. That would actually be really cool to see someone who isn't Bruce Wayne being Batman. Similar to how Into the Spider-Verse showed someone who isn't Peter Parker being Spider-Man. Yeah, they totally could have done a Nightwing or Red Hood trilogy with that character. I would be better if after Man of Steel they made a movie that has John Blake as Batman so he get established in his own movie, then they do their cinematic universe. I don't like the idea of the Dark Knight trilogy and Man of Steel sharing the same universe, but it's better than what we ended up with. Aragon. The movie was fucking awful after I read the books, but there was so much more they could do in sequels that might have saved it. Start with remaking the first one properly, then work from there. I read the books first in high hopes for the movie but was super disappointed. I remember enjoying the movie and not seeing what the fuss was. After reading the books, I'd rather not watch it again and keep that fondness. P. Mortal Engines. I Am Legend. The A-Team. The Man from Uncla. The Uncle from Monsieur N. Warcraft movie. Yes. So much more to tell. The CGI was incredible. I wanted more. Problem was not enough WoW fans went and saw it. Others who did not know of the universe were confused. They had put too much story progress into too short screen time. Many names. Certain mistakes in lore. Many locations, etc. There was a lot of introduction needed that would have needed at least the same amount of time as the story itself. Not only do I know the video games, I've read most of the books too. They could make like 20 sequels and still have much to tell. I'd watch them all. Every part of it gave me chills when you see it. Stormwind was awesome. I was telling me wife, yeah, I started leveling outside of that in woods killing boars. I think I will be rewatching it tonight now. It is a great story, told from so many angles. You feel empathy towards every side. Galaxy Quest, World War Z, Pineapple Express. I like the scene, and this is the end where Franco and Rogan are talking about a potential sequel. Push. Agreed. This came out around the same time as Jumper. Both need sequels. Push was better than it looked like it was going to be. Inside Out. I honestly don't know what they could do to squeeze any more tears out of me with a sequel. I feel like they would have to do a parent dying storyline. The Accountant. I believe one is coming if I'm not mistaken. District 9. Constantine. Really good movie, but it felt like an intro, a setup for a universe. They did set up a universe. It was called Hellblazer. Even had TV show that was decent. But they recently brought Hellblazer, Constantine and Sandman together in a Sandman series. Also, Sandman is getting a TV series. So there's hope, yet we can see more Constantine. Schindler's List. Set in space, obviously. Obviously, you, cunt Monopoly. I love how you two have the same word in your usernames. Great minds think alike, winking face. I still hope Kick-Ass gets a third movie. The Italian Job. District 9. Gone Girl. Scott Pilgrim, Monsieur. I know the source material ended, but the movie had a great unique style and I would have liked to see more of it. Highlander. It got a sequel. It blew. It got several. They all blew. Not sure what crazy fan fiction you've been watching. Everyone knows there were not two straight sequels. A weird TV crossover. Orb is our final movie in this franchise. There can be only one. Highlander the TV series was pretty decent, but it was still a bullshit that Duncan beat Connor. Masters of the Universe. We need another He-Man movie. Dolph's a little too old now. Terry Crews might be available. Oh god, that probably would be awesome. I can see him now. I have the power. The Man from Uncle. John Carter. Kung Pao. Enter the Fist. Still salty about it? The Room, Monsieur. Titanic. Cloverfield. You mean a continuation of that particular story? Because there are 3 movies already in that universe. Just completely different stories. Yes, that particular story. Some sort of origin piece or similar. Mr. Brooks. The Professional. With a grown-up Natalie Portman. I would be so chef's kiss. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the 8th Dimension. The closing credits even promise one called Buckaroo Banzai Against the World Crime League. Kevin Smith was working on this thing as of last year. The movie Priest, at least I thought it set up an interesting world anyway. Paul Bettany has a few movies like this with a cool world setup that could have had cool continuations or sequels. Legion is another one I'd absolutely watch a sequel of, even if it was just more of the same type of story, action. See, I wasn't too enthralled in Legion but would definitely watch the sequel. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.